Hello, students. Welcome to Aksharaha, an initiative by Anvation Educational Trust. In today's session, we will explore additional fundamental auditing concepts, including the audit process, its advantages and disadvantages, and finally, the main types of audits. We will begin with process of auditing. The auditing process follows a structured sequence to ensure thorough examination of financial records. It typically spans five key phases, making it systematic and reliable for businesses. Planning phase. Auditors assess the entity's businesses, risks, and internal controls, then define objectives, scope, and timeline. An audit program outlines procedures, resources, and focus areas like high risk transactions. Fieldwork phase. This involves evidence collection through testing transactions, vouching documents, analytical reviews, and observing operations. Auditors verify balances, reperform calculations, and document findings in working papers. Analysis phase. Evidence is evaluated from completeness and accuracy, identifying errors, fraud indicators, or control weaknesses. Differences from expected results are investigated. Reporting phase. A formal report summarizes findings, opinions on financial statements, true and fair value, and recommendations. It includes management letter for internal control improvements. Finally, follow-up phase. Auditors verify implementation of recommendations, ensuring corrective actions, also reviewing whether the implemented solution address identified issues. Moving on to advantages of auditing. Auditing makes financial records more trustworthy and useful for businesses. Even without legal mandates, professional auditors enhance transparency and decision making. Detect and prevent irregularities. Audit helps businesses detect and prevent fraud and errors. Reliability and authenticity. Management exercises a great deal of subjectivity in preparing financial statements and allocating resources entrusted to it in operating the entity. An audit provides reasonable assurance that management's representation on these activities are authentic, thus carrying greater reliability and authenticity. Acceptability by the authorities. Audited accounts are readily acceptable by the income tax, CBEC, that is, Central Board of Excise and Customs, and such other statutory bodies. Enhanced financial credibility. Audited accounts build trust with banks for faster loan processing and enable swift insurance claim settlements for losses from fire, fraud, embezzlement, or other causes. Facilitates calculation of net worth and goodwill of business. In case of sale or takeover of business by another going concern, audited accounts carry greater reliability to deciding out the net worth of business and goodwill. A prospective purchaser of a business may place more confidence in audited accounts as evidence of past profitability. The auditing function, therefore, plays an important role in verifying whether an organization is profitable or not, or whether its financial position is sound or not. Useful to compare the financial performance. Audited financial statements are considered more reliable to compare the financial performance of business concern over the years. Keeps accounts department vigilant. A regular audit of accounts keeps the accounts department not only up to date but also careful and vigilant. Identifies the weak areas. Audit reviews the internal control system of the auditee and identifies the weak areas, which helps management to get over the weaknesses and achieve their goal within the stipulated time and at a reasonable cost. Where there is advantages, there is also disadvantages. Where there is merits, there is also demerits. So let us find what are the disadvantages of auditing. Disadvantages arise from inherent limitations that prevent absolute assurance on financial statements. While audits enhance reliability, they cannot guarantee error-free or fraud-free record due to practical constraints. Other cons include verification focus only. Auditing primarily involves checking vouchers, records, and transactions. It doesn't assess management efficiency, business ethics, or strategic decision gaps that affect overall organizational health. Fraud detection weakness. Sophisticated fraud by top management often goes undetected. Pre manipulated accounts presented to auditors appear legitimate, especially when it is an insider's job. Inventory valuation uncertainty. Stock valuation relies heavily on management's estimation for work in progress and finished goods. Auditors accept these judgments without market verification, potentially inflating or understating asset values. Test checking the limitations. Due to time crunch, auditors sample transaction rather than examine everything. This sampling risk means errors or frauds in untested areas may remain unhidden. Subjective auditor judgment. Personal bias or experience gaps can influence auditors' opinion. Different auditors might reach varying conclusions from the same evidence. Historical perspective only. Year-end audit provide hindsight, not real-time insights for current decisions. Benefits apply mainly to future planning. It does not affect the present performance. Independence compromise. Pressure from clients can undermine auditor objectively. Weak independence defeats the auditor's credibility purpose. Not investigative. Auditors act as watchdogs, not detectives. They lack authority for deep investigations into suspected wrongdoings. Further, let us delve into types of audit. Audits can be classified into five different classifications. Let's take it down one concept at a time. Classification of audit on the basis of organization. This classification is based on the organization structure of the business, whether it is a private or government undertaking, whether it is a joint stock company, a partnership, or a PSU. The type of audit conducted based on the organization structure of a firm is classified as follows. Statutory audit. Their undertakings are formed under the statute or law. An auditor for such undertakings is compulsory under the law that governs them. An audit undertaken under any statute or law is called a statutory audit. A qualified external auditor can conduct a statutory audit. Audit is compulsory under statute in the following cases. Joint stock company under the Companies Act 2013. Cooperative societies registered under the Cooperative Societies Act 1912. Public and charitable trusts registered under the relevant acts. Banking companies governed by the Banking Companies Regulation Act 1949. Insurance companies governed by the Insurance Act 1938. Public sector undertakings, PSUs, local authorities, and government financial institutions established under special act or law, if any. Limited liability partnership firms. All these listed entities are to be audited under the statute. Government audit. The government offices, departments, undertakings registered as companies are also subject to an independent financial audit. Usually, a statutory auditor appointed by the Comptroller and Auditor General of India audits the accounts of the government companies. Do note that government audits are prescribed by law. It is conducted either by the CAG of India and his staff or a professional chartered accountant approved by the CAG of India. It is an internal audit. A government audit is a continuous audit. Private audit. An audit that is not compulsorily under any statute but is undertaken voluntarily by the owners to get the benefit of an audit. Such an audit is called a private audit. Private entities like sole proprietorships, partnership firms, schools, libraries, HUFs, hospitals, etc., which are not mandated to audit yet choose to do so, conduct private audits. The second classification is classification of audit on the basis of the degree of independence of the auditor. Under this comes internal audit and external audit. Internal audit is continuous and systematic review of accounting, financial, and other operations of an entity by the staff specially appointed for that purpose. Audit conducted by an independent qualified person who examines the books of account and reports to the accounting authority. Such audits are called an external audit. The scope of such an audit cannot be curtailed by the management. The external auditor submits his report to the appointing authority, say shareholders in case of joint stock companies. Classification of audit based on conduct of audit. Continuous audit. It is an audit under which a detailed examination of the books of accounts is conducted continuously throughout the year. It is a continuous review of the accounts of the organization. It is generally applicable to banking companies and insurance companies. Final audit. It is an audit carried out after the preparation of financial statement. It is an audit where the auditor takes up the work of checking the books of accounts only at the end of accounting year. In this case, the audit work is commenced and completed in a single uninterrupted session. Interim audit. It is an audit conducted between two annual audits. In other words, it is the audit conducted in the middle of the financial year. It is carried out for some specific purpose, like for declaring interim dividends, ascertaining interim profits, etc. Balance sheet audit. Balance sheet audit concentrates mainly on the verification of the items in the balance sheet, such as capital, reserves, profit and loss account balance, liabilities, and provisions, and all the assets of the business. Occasional audit. An occasional audit is conducted whenever the need arises. It is the kind of audit that is not conducted regularly, but it is conducted for a specific event, time, or purpose. Complete audit. A complete audit is a kind of audit under which all the records and books of accounts are audited by an auditor. Partial audit is an audit with a limited scope. It is carried out in respect of only a part of the books of accounts of a business for a part of the whole period. Auditing in depth. In large firms, there are many transactions and a good internal check and control system is operating. It is not possible for the auditor to verify every transaction in detail. The auditor selects a few transactions and applies thorough scrutiny of these transactions. That is, from the original entry to the final entry of the transactions at various stages. This technique is called auditing in depth. Further on, classification of audit on the basis of specific objectives. Cash audit, a form of partial audit focused solely on verifying cash receipts and payments. It ensures accuracy in cash transactions without examining the full financial records. Special audit, a targeted audit conducted for a specific purpose or investigation. It acts as a fact finding inquiry, often ordered by management, courts, or regulators to address unique issues. Operational audit, an efficiency review of business operations across functional areas like production, marketing, and HR. It identifies improvements in processes, resource use, and overall performance. Proprietary audit, an examination of actions and decisions in public sector or government entities to confirm they serve the public interest and adhere to the ethical standards of conduct. Efficiency audit, a comprehensive evaluation of an organization's overall efficiency and performance. It assesses how well resources are utilized to achieve goals, often recommending optimizations. Please note that this overlaps with operational audits but emphasizes broader performance metrics. Tax audit, an audit mandated under the Income Tax Act 1961 for tax compliance. Conducted by a qualified CA, it verifies books of accounts to ensure accurate tax reporting. Cost audit, a detailed verification of cost records by a certified cost auditor. It confirms accuracy, adherence to cost accounting standards, principles, procedures, and plans as per the Companies Act 2013. Management audit, a critical review of organizations' plans, policies, procedures, objectives, and management activities at all levels. It evaluates managerial decisions and effectiveness in achieving strategic goals. New generation audits. An environmental audit is an assessment of the nature and extent of harm or risk of harm to the environment posed by an industrial process or activity, waste, substance, or noise. Environmental auditing originated in the US in the 1970s as a way of checking whether a company was complying with a multitude of new environmental laws and regulations. A human resource audit reviews an organization's policies, procedures, and practices concerning human resources. Its purpose is to examine the technical and practical dimensions of the HR function and to create a comprehensive system that adds value to the organization. Social audit is a systematic study and evaluation of a business enterprise's social performance as distinguished from its economic performance. Social audit is intended to evaluate the social performance or social contribution of a business organization. And that concludes today's session. Join me in my next session as we explore auditor qualities, audit reports, and auditing in the digital era. Thank you for watching, and for more such informational content, please like, share, and subscribe to our channel.